Hey, what's going on? It's Thomas Galdenzi with Combat Sports Coverage. And on this edition, I'll be interviewing UFC fighter Khama, the Death Star Worthy, where he'll be taking on longtime UFC veteran Michael Johnson at UFC 249, live April 18th, only on pay-per-view. So, Worthy, tell me how your training camp is going so far, a little bit less than 2 weeks out from this huge fight versus Michael Johnson.
Yeah, man, it's doing good. Everything's lined up. Last minute opponents switch up, so you're just doing basically the best we can do and just get ready for the fight, basically.
And tell me a little bit about that. You were scheduled to fight at UFC 249, but you had a different opponent. Now you have, I would say, a bigger name opponent in Michael Johnson. Is that how you feel about the fight too, or how did this fight come about with Michael Johnson?
I think Azatar got stuck over in Morocco or wherever he's at, somewhere. I don't know if he's in Russia or whatever. So they just started looking for different opponents, and they asked about Michael Johnson. I just jumped on the first person because I wanted to fight. I didn't want to have to sit another 3-4 months or whatever. So I just told him, yeah, and that's the fight they offer, and I took it and just took it from there.
And then how is your training camp going to during this lockdown now? You know, everyone's in lockdown basically due to Corona-19. And I just want to see, how is your training camp different than a normal training camp due to being locked down?
It's a little bit different. Like I own my own gym, so I get in and out of the gym at will, but I don't have as much training partners or the normal amount of training partners I normally have. So it's a little bit different, but I mean, you just make it for the best as you can do. Like no training camps are ever perfect, so it's nothing really that difficult.
And then how do you see this fight playing out with Michael Johnson? Do you see yourself winning by knockout, TKO, submission, or is this going to be an all-out war?
There's a lot of different ways. It all depends on who shows up. Like, I know he was already in camp and stuff, and it all just depends. I see myself winning no matter what, but there's multiple different venues, different ways that it can play itself out. Like with him, he's a veteran, he's been fighting for a long time, so there's multiple different things I have to watch for, and then there's multiple different things I think he'll give me and stuff. So I'm just going there to get the win no matter how it happens.
And tell me, is it going to be like the arena? Everyone's saying it's going to be empty. Is that going to be something you might prefer, or do you think that's going to be maybe something you don't like, having all the crowd and people over there screaming?
That's another thing that you just have to wait. Like, I'm not trying to anticipate any moment. Like, oh, I know I'm going to like this, or I'm not going to like this, because I don't know, because it's something I've never fought in an empty arena before, so I don't know how I'm going to respond to it. So I need to make sure that I just try to just get myself mentally prepared for it. So I don't know if I'll like it, if I won't like it, or what. So this whole experience is all outside of the norm. So I'm just accepting the simple fact that it's stuff I have no control over, and I just control the things I have control over.
It's actually a great mindset to have heading into this fight. I think that's actually really smart, and that's probably going to benefit you in the fight. And I got to ask you, the last time we saw you in the octagon was at UFC 241, where it was Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic 2. And you won by a first-round knockout over a highly doubted prospect. And I believe you took that fight on short notice. Can you just tell us a little bit about that fight?
Yeah, I mean, I took the fight. I think it was like a 4 or 5 day notice. Again, I went to that fight with the same thing. It was just like, you just go in there and fight. I mean, like, this really, once you've been fighting for as long as I've been fighting, like, just really, like, you could get a camp or you prepare for a guy, that's good. But if you get an opportunity to do something on short notice, like, there's nothing. It is what it is. Like, there's just no way around it. Like, my man, Tony Ferguson actually said it. He said the only thing you can control in the fight is the pace. So I just try to make sure I'm in shape. Because, like, he's like, I don't like to over prepare, because the guy might do this or he likes to do this. He might come in and do something completely different. So when I come in the fight, I just go in there to fight, and I let the fight play itself out.
And have you noticed any changes since you've got that knockout? Has maybe more sponsors reached out to you, or have you maybe had some different gyms maybe reach out to you to try to cross train?
Yeah, I mean, it's my first UFC fight, so I've had a whole bunch of stuff like happen because of that and stuff. Like I said, I own my gym, so students and all kind of stuff like that. So I mean, but for me, I'm just sticking to my training and stuff. Like, I have my coaches and stuff and everything like that, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
And then UFC 249 card that you'll be fighting on April 18th, it's had a lot of changes. Were you ever worried that the fight card might get canceled?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a whole bunch of. I'm pretty sure everyone was like, shit. Everyone's waiting for the world to get canceled. Like, there's a lot of stuff. So I mean, but I kept training no matter what, because I mean, to a certain degree, I was like, I figured everything would just play itself out and it would get back to normal. I thought things would be back to a little bit more normal than they are now than it would have happened. But I mean, I just kept training because that's basically all I can do. That's all I do. So I just kept doing it, and the fight still. My manager kept telling me there's still chances. I'm just glad it's not out of the country because my passport actually was expired. I didn't know that, and I like tried to expedite it and get it all here super early, but all those centers are all shut down. So I think it was supposed to come this coming Monday, but I don't know if it's going to make it or not. So that's kind of cool that it's going to be in the States. I don't have to like sneak out in a bucket or some shit and like illegally doing stuff.
Exactly. And tell me, how do you think about this main event? The main event now got changed. Instead of Khabib versus Tony, now we'll see Tony versus Justin Gaethje. I'd like to get your thoughts on that fight.
I think I told someone I did an interview last night. I told them it's a really difficult fight to understand because they both are okay with getting hit. I mean, Tony Ferguson gets hit and then he does crazy stuff. It's weird, but only edge I gave to was Tony Ferguson because he throws elbows, and Gaethje likes to cover up, but you can't cover up from elbows. Like someone splits an elbow, then you get cut. They'll stop the fight simply because you have a cut on your face. So that might be a deciding factor. So we're gonna have to see how it is. It's gonna be a fun fight. I'll probably watch it from my hotel room because I'm pretty sure they don't have like a back room and stuff. They'll probably be sending us straight home after the fights and stuff, unless we're going to the doctors or something. So.
Wow, that's cool. That's a good thing. And I know UFC, they haven't really told anyone yet where the fights are going to happen. I don't want to get you in trouble or anything, so I'm not really going to ask you to tell us.
Oh, don't worry. They ain't tell me. I don't know shit.
That's what I'm going to ask you to know where.
Everyone keeps asking me that. I'm like, dude, I don't know shit. I don't know anything. That's the whole reason why they don't tell us anything, because people keep asking us now. They haven't told us anything yet.
Is that like a strange feeling? Or do you kind of like that feeling, not knowing?
Again, it's the same thing. I'm like, it's something I've never done before, so I'm just letting it play out. Like it's kind of weird, but like in the back of my mind, I know I'm fighting next Saturday, and I'm just preparing mentally, like doing my casual things I like to do, set myself up mentally. But in the same sense, it's like I have no control over it, so it's a weird feeling, not knowing where you're going to be, just knowing that you're going to fight, like not knowing when they'll call you and tell you to go catch a flight and stuff. So it just is what it is, and I'm just doing the best I can to keep everything regular.
Well, to me, I think it gives all you guys who fight on this card some more street credit than usual, because I think that's pretty cool. You guys are just going to show up and scrap. You don't know where yet. I think that's awesome. And then on my show, I like to play a little UFC trivia game with my guests. So I'm just going to ask you 3 questions, and let's just see how good your UFC trivia is.
Cool.
So the first one is there's been multiple winners, but I just want 2 winners that have won the Ultimate Fighter season, but they have also became UFC champions.
Rashad Evans and Tony Ferguson. There you go.
Nice, yeah. New one right there. I didn't even think about Tony, so yeah.
He's the interim, but if he wins again, he'll be a 2-time interim champion.
Wow, yeah. And then for the second question, I got, who is a UFC fighter that fought in 4 different weight classes in one?
Catanera, the gorilla Catanera. I mean, because freaking Conor McGregor was like, oh, I've won in 3 different weight classes. So I'm like, Catanera's won in 4. He's won in all 4. So I've been a big fan of his for a while. So I knew that like a long time ago.
Yep, there was Ken Aaron, and I was also had Kenny Florian, old school.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot Ken Florian. That's right.
And then for the last question I got, what was the first UFC women's fight?
It was Garmouche, Liz Garmouche, right? Yeah, right. She won by submission, I think. She beat Sarah McMahon. Was Sarah McMahon? Nah, who was it? It was Garmouche versus Sarah McMahon. I'm pretty sure it was Garmouche though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Carmouche. I Googled it. It could be wrong, but I had Carmouche versus Ronda Rousey. But I wasn't 100% sure if that was the first one. That's what came up on Google. Was that the first one? I want to say I didn't think it was.
I don't think the title fight was the first female fight. It was. I think it was Garmouche, but I don't think she fought Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey's first fight in the UFC was against Miesha Tate, wasn't it?
No. First fight was against Liz in UFC. But that's what came up on Google. I honestly thought it was I was seeing Claudia Gadelha versus somebody else was the first UFC, but they probably in Google, you never know with them. It could be the first.
Right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure on that one either. And then I gotta ask you, you know, do you have like what's the biggest thing you're anticipating in this like craziness going into this UFC 249 fight?
For me, I'm just super excited to become part of history. Basically, like that's kind of like what I'm super geeked about. This whole card will go down in human history, not just sport history, but human history. So, you know, just to be a regular guy and then like be part of something like this that they'll like probably write in like history books or they'll have a 30 for 30, you know, talk about it and stuff. And it'll be interesting. So like I think I've taken a mark in history by doing this. Like I can like cease to exist after this and like be dead and gone 30 years from now, but I still think this time will be talked about. So I'm super excited to be part of this.
I definitely agree on you. This whole fight card itself will probably be a historic UFC fight card that everyone's always going to remember just because due to all the craziness that goes leading into this fight card. And I got to ask you, how did you get the nickname the Death Star?
One of my first amateur fight, I knocked this guy out really bad, like really bad. And someone said it looked like he got hit by a Death Star, and it just kind of went on from there. Then it just kind of spread out, and then there was a Death Star, and it just never. Like I was like sort of tried to change it at one point, but it didn't work. So I just stayed with Death Star.
And are you a Star Wars fan?
Yes, I am a Star Wars fan. So I do love Star Wars. The last one was garbage, but I do love Star Wars.
So, yeah, I like Star Wars. Star Wars is always good to watch, especially the new one is good. The Mandalorian, that's a good season.
I haven't even checked that out yet. Everyone keeps telling me West Mandalorian. I haven't even checked that out. I need to get Disney Plus. I've been slacking.
And do you have any last words to your opponent, Michael Johnson?
Nah, man. Be healthy. Show up and let's throw down, man. Thanks for taking the fight on short notice, and I look forward to getting there and sharing the cage with you.
And then, do you have any special shout outs to any training partners or sponsors?
No, thank all my training partners, everybody at my gym at the academy, all my guys were at All American Gym, my man Chris Dempsey, everybody, all of my sponsors, Regeneration Pittsburgh, Diamond, everybody. I have a whole bunch of people. I'm forgetting them right now. Legacy, yeah, just everyone that's been helping me. Cranberry Cryotherapy, and of course my gym, the Academy of Martial Arts and Fitness. Like everybody, all my teammates from there, just help me get here and like all the team effort.
Well, everyone needs to make sure to tune into UFC 249 to see Khama, the Death Star Worthy, take on UFC vet Michael Johnson at UFC 249 April 18th, because this fight has fireworks written all over it. And thank you again for giving me some of your time and coming on my show.
Not a problem, man. Thanks for having me, brother.
And I really hope y'all enjoyed that video. And if you did, please hit that like and subscribe button below. And make sure to follow us on all your social media accounts at Combat Sports Coverage. Well, until next time, my friends.